Hi, this is Dr. Nordic. You've just seen a bunch of good tele skiers. Let's take a look at different levels of skiers and see what they can do. If you're an advanced telemarker, you can do short radius turns in and out of your ski clothes on all types of different terrain. Here's the view you can't see when you're skiing because if you're looking down, you're out of balance. This shows pointing the skis in the direction that you want to go. Once again, short radius turns. Just because there's bumps, that shouldn't get in the way of your short radius turns. An advanced skier can also do longer radius and medium radius type turns in pretty much all types of conditions. If you're an intermediate skier, you can do medium radius turns and longer radius turns, usually on smoother terrain and lower angle. In addition to telemark turns, you can't forget about parallel turns. There's definitely places where you should be doing parallel as opposed to telemark turns. As a beginning telemark skier, you basically do longer radius turns on smooth terrain, not very steep. Your two basic turns are a basic telemark and wedge turns. The secret to becoming a good telemark skier is learning how to adopt the right stance and then how to shape your body to remain in control as you're skiing down the hill. You need to learn how to move your skis back and forth and point them in the direction that you're going. It's necessary to learn to do movements in the telemark position as well as with both heels on the ski. After you've learned how to balance on the skis and move them back and forth and point them where you want to, you start to develop movement patterns of moving your feet back and forth up to a turn and then through a turn, learning to do telemark lead changes, up to a turn and through a turn. These things enable you to gain balance and learn how to control your skis on all types of terrain. Another secret to controlling your skis is edging. And here you see a skater skating up to a turn and then doing a telemark. This is really important in learning how to point your skis in the direction that you want to go. Once you have all these movements together, the smoothness and rhythm of the turns will take over, and you're on your way to becoming a good telemark skier. Hi, this is Dr. Nordic. You've been watching really good classic cross-country skiers. Let's take a look at what it takes to ski like this. The earliest forms of skiing contained all the elements of good skiing. These are the ability to put one foot in front of the other, the ability to glide on one ski is also very important. Here we see an exercise making sure you glide on one ski long enough to point at it, and then point it yourself. Once you've learned to glide on one ski and move your foot in front of the other, you put it together with your poles and you're on your way. When you've learned to control your poles and your skis, you're on your way to becoming an intermediate skier. And you're ready to go skiing. This means that you can do the classic techniques. The last two examples weren't classic techniques. Those are exercises. Here's a classic technique. This is called double poling. This is called You and Me, and this balance exercise to learn how to glide on one ski and stand up. This is called diagonal stride. This is the main technique of classic skiing. Double pole with a kick is the name of this technique. Learning how to change from one technique to another is also really important. Learning to go downhill is also important. Just as important as being able to get up to the top of a hill. Once you've become an advanced classic skier, you've learned to have smooth transitions between techniques, even if you aren't on skis. Notice the smoothness in changing from one technique to another. Let's watch some good skiers. Hi, this is Dr. Nordic. You've just seen some good skate skiing. Let's see what makes good skate skiing possible. You need to be able to flow from skate to skate, have the appropriate timing of your poles, and also be able to glide on one ski. These elements are really what makes a good advanced skate skier. An advanced skater can also match his technique to the terrain. Here you see different techniques going through as the skier climbs up a hill. This technique is for going really fast. It's called V2 alternate. We'll slow it down a little bit so you can see what's happening. V2 alternate basically means you push on one side with your poles and skate on both feet. Can't forget to do your downhill techniques. As good of an uphill skater as you are, you need to be a good downhill skater. These aren't skates, these are telemarks. Skate skis are really good for telemarking. The different skating techniques are basically variations of the timing of the pole plants and the skates. This technique is called V1. The pole plant and the gliding ski land on the snow at the same time. Here the skier goes from V1 to V2. This is just a transition from one technique to another. The technique here is V2. As the hill gets a little bit steeper, the skier will change his poling sequence to help pull him up the hill. This is called marathon skate, and is done where there is a track to put one ski in. To be a safe skate skier, your downhill techniques need to be as good as your climbing techniques. A beginning skate skier knows how to do three things. They know how to glide on one ski, they know how to use their poles, and they can keep their skis in a V. Here we see a beginning skier using his poles, gliding on one ski, and keeping them in a V. Doesn't make any difference what type of equipment you have on. When you do these movements, you're skating. Here's a fun exercise to do with your friends. You just balance on one ski, then the other, while the person behind you pushes you. Same as in diagonal or classic skiing. You need enough time to glide on your ski, point at it, and then point it yourself. You might even need enough time to think about it. Double poling is a key element of skating. Terrain is also a key element. Look for places where your ski will glide downhill, like on this side hill, or on this ridge where your ski can go to the top of the ridge and then down every skate. It'll be a lot easier. And you'll be on your way to skiing all over the place.